Oh, you know, that we have a website. Should you ever go into the Big Brother house, there are details on what the lifestyle... In fact, we've got a television show you can watch. Now, what we're going to look at now is the fact that the intensity of that experience made you actually want to leave the house. Let's have a look at that.
They're the most biggest bunch of emotionless people I've ever met in my whole entire life. We've always been intruders. We will never be housemates.
Nah, she locked herself in the bathroom.
I want to go. I don't have one piece of me that wants to stay. I want to get out of here now.
Big Brother suggests you sleep on this before you make a final decision.
What have you decided you're going to do?
I'm going to sit everyone down. I surprised myself in certain situations where I didn't think that I would. And I feel that by facing them and telling them exactly how I felt and what I thought, that did show strength.
I'm glad you had the chat though. You did well, mate. You held yourself bloody well, Laura. For a little girl, you were a big lady in there.
Okay. For a little girl, you're a big lady. Now, you handled that really well, but you even said tonight that you actually wanted to leave the house.
Yeah.
No one makes you stay in the Big Brother house.
No, they don't. They don't.
Why didn't you leave?
Basically because it would have been easier to go. And that was part of facing those people as well, is that it's the easy option to run away from situations and the harder option is to stay and face it. And I think that that's where I learned, and what I needed to learn from was to stay and face it.
Because habitually when things get a bit difficult, you leave them. Okay, so this...
I'm a sprinter.
This was not only you confronting something completely unknown with complete strangers, but with the whole country watching you. So that's a big personal challenge. You did stay in the house, and then miraculously, as you say, you actually did confront the group, you did speak your mind, and you went on from strength to strength after that. So let's have a look.
Oh, let's see. What Joel said is that we can make rules really easy, like everyone has to drink a glass of water a day.
Do we want to fail another task because we don't take it seriously? Grow up.
So, grow up was not at me.
No.
No, you were just looking at me directly and yelling. Body language, the way you voiced it, what you said was all directed at me. Do you even remember what you said?
Not really.
No. I think you're digging yourself a hole right now, and maybe try and remember what you said before you come to me and say that that wasn't directed at me.
My most humble apologies. If it came out completely at you, that's where it's unacceptable. My behaviour is crap. I'm, completely 110% sorry. Because no one deserves to be spoken to that way.
I'm glad we could talk about that though.
No, it's so amazing to watch. You know, here's this huge bloke apologising to this tiny little girl, and of course during that week he was the house king, wasn't he? He'd been given all of this power.
He turned into a big scary man.
He did, but that's interesting and almost poetic that it gave you the opportunity, the little mouse in the house. I mean, Michelle's the only person in the world smaller than you, and then it was sort of like the mouse went to the elephant, didn't you? And actually spoke your mind articulately. When you look at that, like, do you think, actually, I'm bloody glad I stayed in that house and finished this chapter?
Yeah, like I knew the joke was in the house, if I were you, I'd vote me out. Because I thought, you know, if I was watching me on TV, I'd think I was a bit of an idiot too.
Really?
So the funny thing was that I knew no matter what point I left at, I was going to be certain things that I went, oh God. So yeah, I was glad I stayed. I was.
Yeah, I think it would be great for you to be in the house longer. We've got, who knows? But I think, you know, the reason you went in, it feels like you actually struck gold on that one, doesn't it? But we've got a few more questions to ask you after the break. Stay tuned, because the recently holidayed and newly wicked Big Brother has a big surprise up his sleeve. Yep. Number 7, with me is evictee number 10, Laura, and we're about to discuss the subject of nominations because that is going to be a pertinent thing this evening. We have to see who nominated you. Are you ready? I bet you're thinking everyone did. Have a look. Have a look.
Laura.
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 Laura for 2 points.
Laura this week.
She's being a hypocrite because she's taking things more serious when it suits her. So it's always on her agenda and not everybody else's.
If I can explain it in one sentence, I'd say she's more concerned about being right than actually doing what's right.
I have very little respect for Laura. She's very opinionated about things, but then she doesn't back them up. Like things, she's very environmentally minded. She'll criticise someone for having the water running too long, but then she'll just go and use a whole roll of toilet paper in one day.
Showing little or no remorse when she gets the fines. I feel it's very, very frustrating because everyone's trying so hard and I don't think she tries quite as hard.
I feel I'm constantly picking up after her or always telling her what she's doing wrong, and I don't want to have to spend my time looking after someone in the house.
It makes it very hard to live in the house with someone that whinges every time we have to do something.
I've gone from this week from being a rock this size to being like a rock that size because basically I like to eat, and if the shopping budget goes down because of her fines, I can't eat, and therefore my time in the house is not as enjoyable.
Okay, I mean, we all know they have to nominate someone, they have to find a reason, and you made yourself a sitting duck, didn't you?
Reason.
Didn't you? I mean, even those ones were surprised because they could have just said, well, she's just whinging and carrying on.
It could have been anything.
But I think they began to love you by the end of the journey, I really do. Now, nominations, that was about nominating, and of course, Big Brother now has an announcement to make regarding nominations. So shall we cross live to the house and hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, over we go.
Yeah, I know what you're implying. I know English.
So we would.
No, it wouldn't be one. It would just be a one
This is Big Brother. All housemates to the lounge.
It is a double.
You're right, Dale.
No,
It is a double.
Eviction lights on!
they stay on for hours. They stay on.
Guys, I'm going to get a picture.
Do you reckon?
What do you reckon? Don't sit there. It's been too long. Don't sit in the middle. Don't sit there.
No, it's not. This only happens with me when I have a double.
Housemates. Listen carefully. 10 housemates have been evicted so far. 8 of them have been female. There are now more than twice as many male housemates as female housemates. Therefore, Big Brother is going to redress the balance.
What does that mean?
Tomorrow, only male housemates will be eligible to be nominated.
Yay!
To be very clear, tomorrow you can only nominate male housemates for eviction.
There you go.
Big Brother's decision is final.
We in it.
That is all.
Oh my God! What is happening in this place?
You guys got a free ride.
Not necessarily.
No, but we can still get switched.
Yeah, and we could get
We
doubled.
can still get switched.
Nah, but he won't let the switch happen. He won't let the switch happen
That's a
either.
nomination.
It's a nomination still.
Holy
Switch can't happen either.
housemates.
That's
It's bad, but it's still because it's not based on.
That's not fair.
We don't say
Yeah.
who stays and who goes.
Yeah, like-
It's up to
Yeah.
Australia. So
And we're all housemates, we're all equal.
We're all equal.
Yeah.
So why
There's always
can't
been-
he just
there's-
whack in? Why
That's
can't
a
he
good
whack in
point.
more girls?
There's always been a guy up in every eviction.
But why can't he whack in more girls?
There's always been a guy up in every eviction. There's always been an opportunity to get rid of guys.
Yeah.
The reality is, Big Brother said it. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say that.
Let us know my opinion.
Yeah, just make sure you don't cross it. That's all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's no disrespect, and it's
8
the rules that I
girls,
have to follow.
8 girls have been evicted. Sounds weird
that
when
means
you say that.
a boy's definitely
Wasn't
going.
that really going
He's sat down and he's nutted it all out and he's seen that, hasn't he? He's gone, we can't lose another girl.
They can't.
Nah.
Well, there are a lot of grumpy blokes sitting around that couch and a few grumpy ones in the audience here. But I must point out to you, I asked for that. I have to point out to you that Big Brother has the right to do what he wants with the rules, and that's what he's decided to do. And furthermore, he has decided to make this Sunday night a double eviction. Now it's time for our KFC viewers' question back to our wonderful evictee. This is from Sarah, who asks, Do you think that your experiences in the house will change